Speaking of a Galway team, you mentioned Corofin blitzing teams in the provincial championship. We're going to Moycullen's victory over Westport, 318 to 112. A Westport side that was coming off the high of winning their first ever Mayo title, but they got blitzed. Moycullen 318, Westport 112. And Matt, I'll come to you a question about mentality here, because this is something that I was kind of fascinated with. Westport were not tipped by anyone really to win the Mayo title, at the start of the season. They weren't really hotly fancied. They did it. Moycullen were tipped as a good shot to win the Galway Championship. And I feel like Moycullen winning Galway, maybe it was the fact that they won it, in 2020. But there's this kind of attitude that I would think that Moycullen, it wasn't enough for them to win Galway. They really were like, okay, no, this is only the first part of our season. We're going for the All-Ireland here this year. Do you think that there might have been an attitude at Westport that, not that they didn't want to go on and win Connacht and win the All-Ireland, but maybe that they were more happy to settle for a provincial championship than maybe Moycullen were? Or do you think that just Moycullen had more quality?
Well, it's interesting, Moycullen, looking at the teams yesterday, actually, Peter Cook, their star man for Moycullen, was actually missing for this game. So it probably shows the quality that Moycullen have all over the field. But I get your point in Westport. I take it back to the Bars initially when they won in Cork in 2018. They didn't get hammered by Dr. Groves and Kerry. And people weren't expecting it because the Bars have good players and all that. But I honestly thought that year the Bars were just happy to win Cork. They were just delighted. They were delighted to get over the line. They had a few drinks, and that was the end of that tale. They did win the second year, and then they go into the All-Ireland series, and they're now subtly a competitive team. I think Westport are going on the same trajectory. On the Mayo Championship, I actually predicted Westport would win it. So there you go. I thought there'd be a fairy tale story in Lee Keegan there, but and I thought they'd win Connacht as well, but maybe it's a bit too soon for them. They do have very good players, I have to say. Owen McLaughlin's injured for them. Imagine if he comes back next season. You have Mark Moore there as well, the forgotten man in Mayo. Lee Keegan, obviously, will he stick around? He probably will, to be honest. He's an outstanding footballer, very versatile. But Moycullen, to score 318 against this Westport team in McHale Park, that's incredible. And, other than Peter Cook, people weren't writing saying Moycullen were that good, to be honest with you. I didn't see enough of them, to be honest with you. I knew they won the Galway Championship in 2020. But looking at this performance, they could go on a really good run. I know the Connacht champions have the Ulster champions, but even looking ahead to Connacht, Moycullen should walk the next few games, to be honest with you. They've Strokestown next. Again, and probably Tour de Strand in the final. It'd probably be an easy championship there for them. So I think Moycullen will do very well to win Connacht this season. And yeah, it's an interesting one with Moycullen going for the All-Ireland, because this is really their first crack at the provincial championship, because in 2020 when they won Galway, it wasn't a provincial championship because of COVID. So maybe they have a point to prove after winning Galway the second time that they're good enough to be in a Connacht championship. Maybe that was the way that they have to put down the marker against this Westport team and bits them really. I think that was the way. But after Westport, I think it's a team that's in transition. They're going to go and do amazing things in the next few years. There's only going to be time for them. But Moycullen, I think, are going to be a team to watch in the next few weeks.
Yeah, no, hard to disagree with that for sure. One man who definitely put down a marker, Luke, was Desi Keneally. 10 points, 5 from play. I mean, definitely showing his hand up for Pádraig Joyce to be in that starting lineup for next season. The goals, 3 of them from Moycullen. The first one came from Daniel Cox. That one made it 1-11 to 1-4 before the break. I mean, that really must have knocked the stuffing out of Westport going in at half time. The other 2 goals came from Galway star Owen Gallagher, and the other one came from, I believe it was Aidan Claffey. So, realistically, Keneally, outstanding performance, definitely chose his hand up. But did anyone else catch your eye from Moycullen?
Well, look, haven't watched a bit of Sigerson and everything like that as well. Neil Mulcahy, the fullback, looks a really, really good player as well. That I think it was when UIG that he was playing fullback for as well. He's a real solid player in there as well. That I think he's a fella that could maybe make the transition up into a Galway setup soon as well. David Wynn's a nice player in cornerback too. I know he got a red late on as well, but look, I think they'll be absolutely delighted with that as well. I think the other thing that they'll be mainly focusing on is that, look, can they get Peter Cook back? And I think I'd probably agree with Matt that looking at Strokestown next with the they're another new side. And then potentially Turlestrane in the final, or look, the Leitrim champions as well. I don't think they'll be quaking too much with that as well. If they can just get through those games and then maybe see if they can get Peter Cook back for like the later games, once they start getting up to Croke Park for semi-finals and finals, I think, look, if they can get him back, that's a serious side. And that you already talked about Gallagher, you talked about Desi Keneally, like these are Galway players too in there as well. And then look, the big kind of trio for them are the three Kellys, Owen, Sean and Paul, and that's just a really, really strong combination to have at club level. Three fellas like that, all with Galway. It's just a very, very strong team. And that, yeah, like I think the manner in which they beat Westport as well probably is making a lot of people sit up. I think they'll probably ease through Connacht as well. And look, once you're into that stage as well, it's 2 games off in All-Ireland as well. Nobody's going to bet against you in 2 games.